When the sea turns into blood and the seas become as sludge, when the locusts eat up all the moon and eliminate the sun, it's somewhere out there Walt's looking down and smiling with glee. Come listen to it this week. It's Disney PC. Actually, it's a Disney AD, I think we decided. Welcome to another episode of Disney AD, where we give you all the juicy deets on the history of Walt Disney World, Florida, the park.
Exactly.
I'm your host, Joshua Boers, joined with your other host, Jacob Boers.
Hello.
We all know about our favorite classic Disney characters. Tolnar, the impenetrable, Gornak, the spine ripper, and of course, Backpack Jack.
I love Backpack Jack.
The jackfruit whose face is a backpack.
He's my favorite, honestly. I love him. He holds a special place in my heart.
Absolutely. We all grew up with Backpack Jack and his pal Zipperteeth.
Oh, Zipperteeth.
His pet Zipperteeth. I always thought it was weird that, like, Backpack Jack, the jackfruit who's a backpack, is like a jackfruit backpack who gets to walk around, and yet his Zipperteeth is also a jackfruit backpack, but he's like a pet.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is there. Like, are they trying to, make some sort of commentary about social classes and stuff? I don't really know.
I never really made a lot of sense to me, because, like, there's Backpack Jack, of course. His friend Tolnar the Impenetrable is an archdemon.
Yeah.
I really don't. There doesn't seem to be any like consistent structure to like the hierarchy of. I'm getting aside of myself.
Yeah.
We all know those Disney favorites, and we've all heard about the ride that's going to be based on them, called the Bloody Adventures of Volnak Vlad Sticker.
Oh, I'm so excited for that ride. I hear it's going to be super intense, and I love it.
Absolutely. The darkest dark ride ever. New forms of dark. Dark that's said to drive you as mad as the seventh seal that was opened on the day of Walt's death. Absolutely. And we're all about that here in
We're all about that.
Disney AD.
Disney AD,
where we give you all the latest news about Disney, but not really, because it's a history podcast.
Exactly.
Speaking of which, we're not really here to talk about... what did I say? Vornak?
Vornak.
We're not really here to talk about
Vlad
Vornak today.
Sticker.
We're here to talk about kind of the history of the ride that it's replacing. And I have here Jake, another host of this podcast,
Yes,
who's
hi.
an expert on on that ride. So maybe Jake, could you give us a couple juicy details?
Yes, so as we all know, Vornak's Bloody Adventure is set to be replacing Backpack Jack's Backpack Jack's spinny backpacks.
Spinny backpacks.
The spinny backpacks.
Yeah,
Everyone loves the spinny backpacks,
yeah.
right? You sit in a backpack and they strap you down and you spin around in circles, and you also spin around in circles while spinning around not in another horizontal circle but a vertical circle as well.
Yes.
We all know that ride. It brought so much joy to children. They loved, watching their friends who were not exactly belted in correctly just go flying out over the park.
The real e-ticket part of this ride is that the ride won't stop until someone dies. Until
Yes.
the weakest, according to Backpack Jack's, of course, philosophy, the weakest member, the one with the weakest constitution, will be crushed by the G-forces, and only then will the ride stop. So that, of course, the strongest will survive.
Exactly. And of course, that dynamic really mirrors the early Disney cartoons where Backpack Jack went on his whole, rampage. And, that's why we lost such characters as Flimsy McFlickleFlopple. He
was never a favorite of mine.
Yeah.
He was weak.
He was very weak.
There's only a place for the strong in this world.
Yes, I was a little shocked when they got Scrunge McFlunglesnacks. I was kind of surprised that he went before Zipper.
Yeah, in the early days of Walt's animation career, he really fell back on a lot of like lazy names that started with Mick.
Yeah, I know, it was really weird.
That's why he wasn't very popular until he made that deal with Baphomet.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, we've gotten a little bit off track, I think.
Again.
Here's a fun fact you might not know about Backpack Jack's spinny backpacks. It was originally designed as like a particle accelerator for the nuclear program for the recent war.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
Yes, you did hear about that. It was the recent war.
The recent war. I was talking about the particle accelerator, not the recent. I know about the recent war.
Of course, who could forget?
Everyone knows.
The physical and mental scars are present on everyone I meet, and I mean,
how are those burns healing?
Oh, they don't. That's the whole point of the burn gun.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing, but
Yeah.
I just think the burn gun is such an on-the-nose name.
Yeah. Those those Imagineers who defected.
Yeah.
The
Disney Universal War. It was really.
Yes. This was a war between Disney and Universal.
Yep.
Over the rights to Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, the rights to build the ride, and of course the experience.
Yep.
Nowadays, I think that theme parks are less about the rides and less about the well, of course, they're more about the IP tie-ins, but also they're less about the IP tie-ins because it's really about the experience. It's about really having your own adventure. For example, I know this is a Disney podcast, but I got to tell you, it's specifically a Disney World podcast. What I'm saying is I went to Disneyland recently, and I visited their Cars Land.
Oh,
the land where men are turned into cars. Cybernetically enhanced to the point of becoming more machine than man.
Yeah, I'm surprised you got out, looking like you did. I mean, yes, you do have a fender right there, but...
Absolutely. The trick is to dress as a staff member, a cast member. Dress as a cast member, carry a drill, make it really look like you're chasing out the guests, and while you're by the exit, just slip out.
Yep. Yeah, that sounds like a pretty usable strategy for you. Those of you at home, keep that in mind, because car men are great, but we would like some more regular men.
There are so few of those.
I know we're running low on regular men.
What with the fungus follies of 1909. 1999 is what I meant to say.
I was going to say, that's the second fungus folly of you got it confused with the first fungus folly of 1909.
Yeah. Someone's got to find those spores, otherwise it's going to keep happening every 100 years or 90 years rather.
Yeah,
we've gotten way off track
a little bit. Yeah.
What is the name of this episode?
What did we?
It was about Backpack Jack spinny backpacks.
Yes,
Backpack Jack spinny backpacks.
Spinny backpacks. The spinny ride.
The spinny.
That was the tagline.
Spinny ride.
They weren't very creative when they first made this.
Yes. When was this a ride that was original to the park?
This was an original ride.
Or
it was
this
actually
a tie-in to a movie?
It was the first ride made for Disney World. Of course.
Of course, I should know that because I'm the host of a Disney podcast.
Right, but you're playing the part of the audience who doesn't actually know what's going on, so it's okay.
Yes.
So as we know, Backpack Jack's Spinny Backpacks was the first ride to debut at Disney World. According to this, it says here that I've had too many words. I'm sorry. It says here that the lines for opening, even though there was only one ride in the park when it opened, the lines were still 7 hours long, which you don't think enough people would come in for the 7-hour wait time, but then you have to remember that the ride doesn't stop until someone dies. So that could take hours, it could take minutes, it could take seconds.
So that was original to the that must be a real e-ticket. Mm-hmm. That must
Yeah. People were camping out for days beforehand to be the first ones to ride Backpack Jack Spinny Backpacks.
I mean, you got to remember also at the time there was precious little else to do in Florida after
the Gator uprising.
The Gator uprisings.
It was those were some dark times, but as we all know, we came through a bit more scarred with a bit less limbs.
As Walt always said, you got to dispose of your nuclear waste The same place you dispose of your dreams.
Yep.
In the swamp.
Yep.
That's what he always said.
He always said that. Those are words to live by, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, I heard that Michael Eisner, in fact, I didn't hear, I know that Michael Eisner did try and do some updates to this ride while he was the CEO of the Disney company.
He actually wanted to have a fixed time limit on the ride because some of those rides were going for hours, and he felt that everyone needed the experience. But of course, there was a huge uprising and revolt because the whole core of the ride is to mirror Backpack Jack's philosophy of life, and so if someone doesn't die every time, then it's an insult to Walt's memory.
Well, he did have one lasting change that has lasted until now, and sadly this ride is being replaced. He did speed up the spinny backpacks. It used to be, of course, that the spinny backpack ride was more of like a war of attrition. The death was not coming from the G-forces, but from the starvation aspect.
Yep.
Now the starvation aspect isn't really present as much, which I think is a smart move. I think was a smart move by Michael Eisner. One of many smart moves that he made for the Disney parks.
Yes.
Once again, coming in well under budget.
And well before his time.
Absolutely, that did wonders for wait times.
It did.
Of course, it did not do wonders for for Corpse Mountain.
Yeah.
The mountain outside of Disney World where the corpses go.
Yeah,
where they're feasted upon by the alligators.
The mountain hasn't been growing recently, and it's a bit alarming because I don't, and since Backpack Jack's is closing down and being replaced, I'm not sure how much more the mountain will grow because Backpack Jack was a big contributor to Corpse Mountain.
Absolutely, and Corpse Mountain sledding down Corpse Mountain was one of my favorite activities as a young lad.
Oh yeah.
They don't advertise it really, but that's no one's gonna. Everyone knows what's going on.
I mean, everyone knows the best activity during the ash season is when the ash all falls from the sky. Absolutely. And you just get out your big metal sleds and you just slide right down Corpse Mountain. It's the tallest mountain around, and it's pretty intense because the bumps, because not all the corpses are the same size. Absolutely. Because not all people are the same size, so it's really bumpy and rocky terrain. And they've even laid it out so they have a bunch of skinny people on one side and fat people on the other, so you can have your nice skinny slope or your bouncy extremes.
Yes. Can I tell you a story about Corpse Mountain? I know we're getting way off track.
Everyone loves Corpse Mountain. I think this counts. It's okay.
All right. My government-assigned parents took me to Corpse Mountain when I was a young lad, right after my second purging, but before my third, which is just such a lovely time. Very little responsibility, comparatively.
Yeah.
And I went up to the very top of Corpse Mountain, Black Diamond. They said I couldn't do it, and I absolutely couldn't. I fell almost immediately, tripped over an elbow, rolled all the way down Corpse Mountain, ended up just full of teeth. Teeth all over me. You know how teeth are really, really sharp now?
Yeah.
That's
a weird trend. I don't understand it.
It's a combination of just the youth of today trying to rebel and a combination of the mandatory tooth filings.
Yep.
You got to stay sharp in case those leopard people come back. This world has a lot of insert animal people.
Yeah, it does. It's really weird. I mean,
I don't know why I say this world, the world.
Yeah, I mean, well, this world, because, there are other worlds out there, but, we don't talk to them because they're full of green people. And, you know about the ban of the color green. We cannot.
Oh, I forgot to do my daily check.
Oh. I think you're fine.
I'm fine.
I don't see much green.
I had some of the mold.
The mold
earlier, but I don't think anyone saw.
Oh, that's good.
And it seems to be clearing up pretty nicely.
Because, if you got caught with green, then I'd have to do this alone, and where would we be then?
Yeah, I'd be disappeared.
Mm-hmm. My government-assigned parents got disappeared. It was St. Patrick's Day. I don't understand why they went outside. It's a sad time.
All right, is it time for one of our sponsors?
Oh yes, it's time for our sponsor. let's round up that jingle.
If you wanna build a website real good, that's too bad, 'cause all the web lines are down. 'Cause of the earthquake, the bloodquake, the deathquake, the other bloodquake, and also, this is an ad for bloodquake insurance. Don't go the way of the internet, 'cause it's gone now and you can't play Webkins.
I've always loved that song. I think Bloodquake Insurance is my favorite sponsor that we have. I think they just have the best song. I'm gonna come out and say it. They have the best song of all of the insurance jingles.
That's true, but I don't have anything else to say about Bloodquakes personally. Do you?
I think the Bloodquakes are. I'm sorry, the song. I love it. Bloodquakes, they're devastating, right? You might want to get insured because if the bloodquakes come, they fill your house with blood and then make it fall down. Where are you going to be then?
Absolutely.
Where are you going to be then? So
if the blood starts quaking inside of you, that's even a different problem, and even arguably a worse problem.
Yeah. So
that happened to my overseer. And I'm not going to lie, that was a good day for me, but it was not a good day for him.
No, it was not. So, Bloodquake Insurance. If you go, you can use our offer code DisneyAD. That'll get you 15% off your first payment.
Absolutely. And you got to pay him, or because
if you don't,
because that's how goods and services work. Also, they'll send the rats. And I got to inform you, Jake, that today we've actually got 2 sponsors.
Oh, another sponsor?
Yeah, we got another sponsor with another jingle.
Oh.
Another jingle. We're ready to go. Yep. This is the chord progression of the jingle.
Yep. If you want to buy a new bicycle, you have to go outside your door.
Dooba-dooba, dooba-dooba.
But you can't really go outside your door now.
Yeah, yeah.
Because there are no more doors.
What were they selling?
That, of course, is the famous jingle for Door Replacers Are Us. Where, as you know, it's a common neighborhood. A common neighborhood teen prank to come and steal your door and fill up the hole with cement.
That's just the way things are.
I know. So, all you gotta do, just call Door Replacers Are Us, and they'll come and replace your door. You can use the offer code. Doors are great to get your first door free.
Thank you very much to our sponsors. We wouldn't be able to do the good work here at Disney AD without you. Oh. And thank you also to all you listeners out there who are tuning in with your ESP babies.
Yep.
And just keep tweaking those toes till they cry out the right frequency.
Because the internet is still down and will be for some time.
Yes.
Yeah. So we've had to make do with the ESP babies because I'm just very surprised about how nice ESP babies have become. Like when they first appeared, you were like, what am I supposed to do? Yeah, sure, I can tweak their toes, and sometimes I hear the sports channel. But
the first thing I did when the ESP baby appeared in my house was tweak its toes and discover that it could jack into the sports channel.
Yep.
Blood curling. A lot of things are just blood things.
Yeah, I know. I feel like scientists need to get more in with it. They need to make more scientific-y names. Because while bloodquake is easy, there's 3 different kinds of bloodquake, and you have.
Yeah.
it's just hard to like
I don't understand the naming conventions.
I don't. It's just it's just something thing. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense.
Blood curling, blood hockey, regular hockey, regular curling.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like what it. I don't understand the appeal of regular curling.
I mean, when you roll that foot across the ice, I want to see a streak.
Yeah.
And in regular curling, there's no streak.
Yeah, I know. It's just like why. Blood curling, always use a fresh foot.
Always use a
fresh foot.
That's
you get the best streak. That's what the best curler. Of course, the U.S. curling team blood curling team captain. Michael Schuster.
Yes.
He's a really big advocate for fresh foot usage. Because as you know, there is the blood curling movement for reusing old feet.
Absolutely. That's why many of the corpses on Corpse Mountain are actually footless.
Yeah.
Disney repurposes them for the Disney blood curling tournament that happens every year on the Festival of the Many, Many Mouths.
Yep. Yeah. It's just, I mean, I'm just astounded that people are actually okay with this. Because most of the appeal of blood curling is the fresh blood, the fresh, you just come in, you have that freshly cut off foot smell, and you see that streak across the ice, it brings me back to my childhood,
I really do understand that. But I think there's been a lot of focus on making the game a lot safer and a lot more sustainable. Which, for one, I can get behind. I'm all about we're all about the environment. At least I'm all about the environment here on Disney AD.
I am about the environment. I like to hold on to the old ways.
There's just so few people with feet.
I know.
I'm lucky enough to have one of them.
Yeah, I have half.
Half. Yes, I knew that because you're my good friend and co-host.
I have half because we were. I was playing blood curling, so I of course was up for the foot, but then. There was a dispute, and so we had to cut my other foot in half to do some measuring. Because as you know, that is how measuring works. You cut a foot in half, and then
half a foot is equal to 2 halves of a foot. That it's a foot.
Yeah, it's a foot.
Yeah. There's a controversial rule. What do you think about the recent controversy in blood curling? I know we're way off topic.
Our audience understands this by now. We just go, the blood curling controversy.
The blood curling controversy of
a
designated hurler of the foot doesn't get their foot cut off for the next round to use as the new foot.
Yeah.
Because they got to have their foot planted to hurl the foot.
Yep.
And they do that in the national blood curling league, but not in the American blood curling league.
Because I mean. It does help you hurl. Yeah, having a foot to help you hurl, it does work. But I've seen some great footless hurlers,
Miguel Cabrera.
Miguel Cabrera is the best footless hurler I have ever seen. He actually, what surprises me?
Yeah.
He doesn't have anything below the knee. At one point, the game went so long that they had to start taking calves and stuff. It was amazing.
That's why they call him Miguel Knees Cabrera.
Yep. Because he has no flex. He can't push off because the end of his leg is his knee. I don't know how he does it. He just blows me away. He's the best sports player.
He's a national treasure.
He is a national treasure.
Yes. Should we get back to Disney World history?
Yes.
The topic of our podcast.
Yes. We gotta get back to Backpack Jack.
Backpack Jack.
Mm-hmm. Our favorite character, Blackpack.
Blackpack was.
I'm sorry, Blackpack.
Yeah, Blackpack Jack is the reason why they needed to get Leonard Maltin to do a to do a thing in front of the DVD collection of all of the old Walt Disney commercials, all Walt Disney cartoons.
Yep, Blackpack Jack. He's just very offensive.
Let's not talk about Blackpack Jack anymore.
Moving off of Blackpack Jack. Nobody wants to know about him.
I know we weren't gonna much talk about the ride that's replacing Backpack Jack's spinny backpacks. Mm-hmm. But let's actually talk a little bit about
the new
Tolnar's death quest to Oregon.
Yep.
Which is the name of the ride that we said before.
Yep. So yeah, Tolnar's death quest to Oregon. It follows, of course. It's a weird amalgamation of because the very Tolnar movie that came out.
The very Tolnar movie.
Not the Tolnar movie. The very Tolnar movie.
The very Tolnar movie that came out before Tolnar World Pup.
Yep.
But after, of course, the Tolnar movie.
Of course, yeah. So a very Tolnar movie. The plot. Tolnar he goes to Seattle to become the greatest talk show host in the history of the world.
Yeah, the Lost City of Seattle.
The Lost City. Yep. And so, but the ride is called Tolnar's Death Adventure to Oregon.
Yes.
So it's actually also an amalgamation of the very Tolnar video game, which of course
was released with the movie, a very Tolnar movie.
Yeah, the movie was released with the movie, and it has an entirely separate storyline from the movie, which I thought was a very unique thing because usually they just follow the storyline with some tweaks, but this was a very separate one where he goes to Oregon to become the blood curling champion of the world. So they've used this ride to amalgamate both of his deadly adventure quests into one solid experience, so that instead of just kind of hitting some gore and blood and stuff just every once in a while, it's all the time because you're switching back and forth between major events from the movie and the game. And then eventually you get to Oregon, where you of course run a talk show while playing blood curling. It's a wonderful feeling. It's great. Yeah,
I am very excited for when this ride opens.
Oh yeah, we actually have early access tickets to when it opens, so I'm really excited to see what it's about, and then we can tell you guys later.
I guess I offered the prayer of a lost child to Bob Iger, and he gifted me with 2 tickets, 2 early access passes. Were made out of.
May the bloody sun always shine upon you, Bob Iger. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Again, a lot of blood. A lot of blood happens here.
Yeah.
This should have ended.
It should have
20 minutes ago.
It should have, but it is a perfect place to stop because the crow clouds are coming in, and we're going to lose our broadcast soon.
Yes, everybody. Thank you for listening to. When the crows come in, then you can't do any more podcast because you lose the signal. You can't listen to your baby. He starts crying blood because that's what we have in the world that we live in. Everything is blood. We're all gonna die.